All right, we're going to start with the breathing exercise. There's only a few of us. Go ahead, go back to the first one that I taught you. There's a reason I'm going back to the first one. I like the phrases, I am safe and I am at peace. Some people have trouble doing that, especially if you're depressed, you're scared, or you just really have trouble telling yourself you're safe if you don't feel safe. You can count instead. And I like, I am at peace. So while you breathe in, you count in your head to 4. At your own pace. While you breathe out, you count your head to 5. Or, while you breathe in, you say to yourself, I am safe. And as you breathe out, you say to yourself in your head, I am at peace. Passive disregard of everyday thoughts means when you get distracted, not if, because you will, everyone does, it's normal. That's okay, just put your mind's focus back on your counting or your phrases. But before I shut up, let's talk about breathing in and breathing out. The relaxation response will work with fast, shallow breathing. It works best with a deep breathing in and a deeper breathing out. If you can, make it audible so you feel it as well as you can hear it as well as feel it. So breathe in through your nose if you can. If you're stuffed up, that's fine. Breathe in through your mouth. Breathe out through your mouth. As you breathe in, count to 4 at your own pace. As you breathe out, count to 5. Or as you breathe in, say to yourself, I am safe. As you breathe out, say to yourself, I am at peace. And we will do that for 3 minutes. right. 2 seconds left to go. I always like to stop it because I don't like the buzzer to go off. Okay. Welcome to week 10. A couple things to accomplish in week 10. First and most important, course evaluation. I'm going to pass out a course evaluation, some pens. And for the last few minutes of class, we'll cover this. Before we do that, week 10 in WHAM is designed to talk about the WHAM support group.
Yes.
But we do not have a current WHAM support group.
No.
So I'm going to go ahead and cover it anyways because we do not have a Recovery Center supported / sanctioned WHAM support group. But just like everything else at the Recovery Center is peer operated, which means you get to decide what you do here. And there is nothing to stop people, if they want to, from creating a WHAM support group and soliciting other people to join and spending time working on the WHAM goals. So I'm going to ask you to turn back to page 44. And I'm going to ask, one of the weeks that I was sick, did you guys cover this? Setting and clarifying your whole health goal. Because if you haven't covered this material, talking about the group won't make as much sense. You guys remember covering this? Then we're going to cover this today. It won't take long. We're not going to read every line because you don't need to. Pages 44 and 45 are a checklist for you to go over at your own pace. And it's a checklist of things that you might want to work on. You get to, obviously, like everything else in WHAM, you decide what you want to add to your life, what you want to change. And after you've made that decision, you go to pages 46 and 47. 46 and 47 cover everything that this class has covered in previous weeks. Each question or two has goals, questions that cover a week of this class. So let's look at page 46, 1A. I love these questions because every word of these questions are important and the way they're worded is brilliant. So I'm going to start with 1A. If I decide, first word of that sentence is my favorite. If I get to decide whether or not I work on something. If I decide it's important to reduce stress. Now I'm going to jump to page 40. Let's stick with 46. 4A. If I decide it's important to get more restful sleep. Well, I have decided that I need to sleep more, but I don't think it's important. So I move on. Does that make sense? That's why I love these questions and the way they're worded. So if I decide it's important to get more restful sleep, and let's go back to 1A, if I decide it's important to reduce stress in my life or practice more stress management skills to improve my health and resiliency, I could, and I love that word too, do the following. Not I will or I should or I'm going to. I could do the following to accomplish that. Then in the parentheses, I love this. Make sure it's something that make sure it is something you are currently not doing, can do, and think you might enjoy. I love that because let's go to physical activity 3, question 3. If I decide to engage in more physical activity to improve my health and resiliency, I could do the following to accomplish that. Now let's just brainstorm some things I could do to accomplish engaging in more physical activity. Run a marathon. What else could I do? Lift weights. What else could I do?
Aerobics.
Aerobics. What else could I do?
Walk.
Walk. What else could I do? Name something hard or not fun that you don't think is fun.
Maybe doing back exercises on the bike.
Yes. What else could I do?
Lift weights.
Lift weights. I like the marathon idea. Is running a marathon something that I'm currently not doing? Well, yeah, I haven't run any marathons recently. Is it something that I can do? Not a chance and you know what. My doctor would say, don't try it, David. You have to condition yourself for it. You have to prepare. It would take you a year or so to get ready to run a marathon. Do not go out and run a marathon this weekend, David, is what my doctor would probably recommend. Because running a marathon, and I would agree, is something that I currently cannot do. So I should not write that down. Does that make sense? Now let's say that I was in good physical health. Is running a marathon something that I'm currently not doing? No, I'm not running any marathons. Is it something that I can do? Let's pretend that I can. Yeah, I could go out and run a marathon. Is it something I might enjoy? No. I don't like running. I don't like walking in my car. Why would I run a marathon?
Yeah.
So if it's not something that if it's something that you're not currently doing, you can do, and you might enjoy, then the book recommends that you consider setting it as a goal. And having a benefit. Now let's turn to page 49. Another one of my favorite pages in the book. Is my goal stated so that it has impact? And each letter in the word impact stands for something different. Does my goal improve the quality of life, of my health and resiliency? So, would running a marathon improve the quality of my health and resiliency? By the way, you guys can't answer that. Who can answer that? Only me. Now let's I'm going to pick a different goal, and you guys are welcome to throw out suggestions. Healthier eating. If I decide it's important to create healthier eating habits to improve my health and resiliency, I could do the following to accomplish that. Something that I'm not currently doing is eating vegetables every day. Can I do it? Yes. Would I enjoy it? Depending on the vegetable? Yeah. I like peas, I like spinach, I like certain vegetables. So there's a goal. Does it improve, my goal would be to eat vegetables 3 days a week. Does that goal improve the quality of my health and resiliency? I think so. Is it measurable? Yes. I'm going to say 3 days a week. Is it positively stated? Yeah. Is it achievable? Yeah. Does it call forth actions? Yeah, I have to actually eat something. Is it time limited? No. So my goal does not meet the impact criteria. How could I make it time limited? Starting this week, I am going to start eating 3 vegetables 3 days a week from now on. That's time limited. Does that make sense?
That is time limited, yes.
What the goal wants you to do with the time limited is to set a time frame so that you can meet the goal. So now I'm going to go to a harder goal that isn't going to meet the impact criteria. If I decide it's important to get more restful sleep in order to improve my health and resiliency, I could do the following to accomplish that. Remember, WHAM has no rules. You get to decide what you add to your life. So what could I do to get more restful sleep? Well, I'm going to drink every night until I pass out. That's my goal. Something I'm currently not doing? Yeah, I currently don't drink every night. Can I do it? Yeah, I can afford a bottle of vodka at Kroger. Would I enjoy it? Probably. Have a lot of fun. Now, does it meet the impact criteria? Would it improve the quality of my health and resiliency?
No.
If I was being honest with myself, I'd have to say no. So let's cancel that one. Next. If I decide it's important to get more restful sleep in order to improve my health and resiliency, I could do the following to accomplish that. I'm going to go to bed earlier. How's that? Sound good to you guys? Now let's see if it meets the impact criteria. Does it improve? Would going to bed earlier, in my opinion, not yours, improve the quality of my health and resiliency? I think so. Because I think I'd probably sleep longer and get more sleep.
Right.
Why wouldn't it? So let's say yes. Is it measurable?
No.
Why not? How?
It has to be measured by a number of hours of sleep.
Well, how could I make I'm going to go to bed earlier more measurable? Think about what I said. I'm going to go to bed earlier. I'm going to go to bed 1 minute earlier every night. I'm going to go to bed 4 hours earlier every night. Those are at least measurable.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I need to measure. I'm going to go to bed 2 hours earlier because I stay up till 1, 2 in the morning. So my goal is to go to bed 2 hours earlier every night. Is it measurable? Now I've met that. Is it positively stated? Yeah, I actually did this example wrong because I was supposed to say, I'm going to stop staying up till 2 o'clock. That's not positively stated because that's talking about stopping something. It's not talking about adding something positive. Positively stated, yes, I'm going to go to bed 2 hours earlier. Achievable. Is it achievable for me in my present situation and with my current abilities? If you do not think your goal is achievable within the given time frame, you can usually remedy that by lowering the amount or changing the time. Now you guys need to ask me, David, can you go to bed 2 hours earlier? 3 days a week. Let's make it even more measurable.
Can you?
No. I'm addicted to sitting up and playing on my phone and watching the news and, just sitting there thinking, overthinking, etc., etc. So, what does the book say? You can usually remedy that by lowering the amount or changing the time frame.
That's considered that.
Yeah, so what should I do? How should I change my goal so that it's achievable?
So you're going to go to bed 1 hour earlier.
Or 30 minutes. So I'm going to go to bed 1 hour earlier every night of the week from now on. Is that achievable?
Well,
You're supposed to ask me, by the way.
Is that
I'm
achievable?
setting the
That's
framework
achievable.
for the
That's
material that we're going to cover. Huh?
I was asking, is that achievable?
No.
I thought,
Friday nights I'm going to want to stay
I
up
thought
late.
for me, if I were you, I thought I would say be achievable because of the number, if it's the number of hours, like an hour
Well,
earlier or something, that could be
That's what we're discussing. And that's what's important about this process. So I'm teaching you the process. I like to stay up and watch Saturday Night Live maybe sometimes. I like to sleep in some. I like to stay up really late with my friends on the weekends maybe. So going to bed an hour earlier every night for the rest of my life is not achievable for me. So what does the book say to do if it's not achievable? We can usually remedy that by lowering the amount or changing the time frame. So how could I change my goal?
Well, the first thing, I think you handicapped yourself by saying every.
Yeah,
That's
it.
that's a lot.
So now what do we,
That's
so
forever.
what's a reasonable goal? What would you recommend for me? You helped me by telling me, hey David, you said every, is that really reasonable? No. How many days should I shoot for, guys?
3.
Yeah, I'd
Three.
say 3.
So, I'm gonna go to bed an hour earlier, we change the time frame, 3 days a week. I think I can do that. So I think it's achievable, and that's important, by the way. It doesn't matter if you guys think it's achievable, if I think it's achievable. Does it call forth actions? What do you guys think? I gotta get in bed. Well, actually, that's just part of the process that I'm getting ready to teach you. You guys have to ask me, okay, David, what are you gonna do?
Okay, David, what should I
Because
do?
when I say go to bed earlier, well, I'm already in bed till 2 a.m. awake watching TV. So you see where I'm going with this? So what am I gonna do to get to bed an hour earlier 3 nights a week? You need to ask me and I need to think about it.
What are you going to do to go to bed 1 hour earlier?
Oh, I gotta take my medicine earlier. And I gotta turn off the TV.
You turn on the TV, off the TV.
3 days a week, I gotta turn off the TV an hour
Turn off
earlier
your
than I
phone.
usually do.
And your phone?
Huh?
And put down your phone?
Yeah. So, you see where I'm going with this process?
I think I probably would ask, you ever drink warm milk before you go to sleep?
Yeah. Time limited. Is it time limited in terms of when I plan to accomplish it? The goal needs to be stated so that you know when you plan on accomplishing it. And as a group, your job would be to ask me, David, when are you going to start? Tonight. Now let's go back to our impact criteria. Is that achievable? Hey David, can you really start tonight? Or should you maybe pace yourself and maybe plan on starting this in a few weeks, and maybe start by taking baby steps and going to bed 15 minutes earlier 3 days a week, or 30 minutes, and work your way up to the 1 hour. The 1 hour, going to bed 1 hour earlier 3 nights a week, that's my ultimate goal. And there are a lot of things I can do to help myself get to that point. So time limited. Am I ready to do it right now? Well, only I can answer that question. You can't. Does that make sense? But as my peers, you can help me by, hey Dave, can you really start doing that right tonight? You know, tomorrow? Do you want to work your way up to it by maybe starting doing 15 minutes or 30?
Probably like 10 or something to start or something. I think that's earlier.
So, now let's turn to page 58. The weekly peer support group. One-on-one peer support, let's cover that first, top of page 58. Supporting peers outside of the group is important. Ideally, this is contact that occurs between the weekly support group meetings. There are 2 ways this can be done. The first involves the peer leader who is leading the support group to contact each participant between meetings. The second occurs during the support group meeting when each peer selects another peer to be the support person for the next week and makes contact between meetings. This first procedure is recommended for the first few weeks of the group meetings. However, the peer support is structured. The peer supporter makes arrangements to contact his or her peer 2 to 4 days after the support group meets. This can be done in person or by phone. The peer supporter asks how the other person is doing in relation to the action plan and log. If the other person is doing okay, the peer supporter expresses appreciation and encouragement to attend the next support group meeting. If the person is not doing well, the peer supporter asks how to help. Weekly peer support group. Weekly peer support group is the foundation to the success of the WHAM process. Here are the suggested guidelines for conducting the group. All participants work on a goal. The group is facilitated by any one of its members. If it is facilitated by a leader, the peer leader must meet the criteria of number 1 above, which means the leader has to be working on goal 2. During the first group meeting, a comfort contract that group members agree on should be created to serve as a group rules of conduct. We have that with the Recovery Center rules for each group. Now, the format, the leader welcomes everybody, does a relaxation response, goes around the room, asks everybody if they met last week's goal. If they didn't, the group helps the person figure out why they didn't meet it. Maybe they set their sights too high. If they did meet it, they congratulate, and then they go around the group again, and they ask what their goal is for the next week. So now let's turn back to page 46 and 47, and let's wrap this all up. Key sentence that I read pretty quickly on that page was that the entire WHAM philosophy, the entire WHAM, let me read what they said. The weekly peer support group is foundational to the success of the WHAM process. That means everything that this book tried to help us learn. Ways of looking at ourselves without punishing ourselves, by looking at the things that we want to improve on and looking at them from a perspective of adding something positive to our life instead of taking something away. The support group is key to that, because if you didn't have a support group, what would happen? We've gone through the book. We went through each week. 1 week we talked about eating and sleeping. 1 week we talked about support. 1 week we talked about spirituality. 1 week we talked about stress. 1 week we talked about health risk. 1 we talked about meaning and purpose. Then you turn to pages 46 and 47 and you say, well, if I decide to strengthen my support network, this is what I could do. And you write it down. And you tell the group. And that's wonderful. If I want to get better sleep, this is what I could do. And I can think of a goal that meets that impact criteria. That's a healthy, strong goal. And then we walk out of the class, and what happens? I put this book down on my desk. I maybe pick it up and read it again. I maybe even read my goals again. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to start going to bed an hour earlier, 3 nights a week. Yeah, I really should do that. Think it's going to happen? No. But if I come in here, just like an AA meeting, just It's like a depression bipolar support group. I come in here, I sit in front of my peers who are also working on goals, and you ask me, or whoever's leading that week's group says, hey David, you were gonna go to bed an hour early 3 days this week, did you? No. What stopped you from doing it? What were the barriers? I was watching TV. I couldn't turn off the TV. How can we help you? What's something that could help you turn off the TV? Or maybe this isn't a goal that's achievable. Maybe that TV addiction's too hard for you. Maybe maybe you can put on a different channel. So as a group, you help the person who's not meeting the goals, or what's another reason a person may not have met a goal? Didn't think about it. I forgot. Hey, why don't I call you Tuesday and Thursday and remind you, hey, don't forget to turn off your TV. Why don't I call you 10 o'clock at night? David, turn off your TV. Hey, Larry, don't forget to eat that banana. You said you wanted to add some fruit to your diet.
By the way,
Yes?
I do not know if every 2 to 4 days after the meeting would be beneficial. For some, I think probably collectively, not just starters, but for expert in the thing, they probably should do it like every day.
Well,
It's amazing.
the book was very clear. I agree with you, and the book is very clear. The peer supporter makes the arrangements to contact his or her peer supports 2 to 4 days after the support group meets. They can be done. They ask the person how they're doing. Can be done in person or over the phone. You select the person and you select the contact. You decide, hey, I need somebody to call me at 10 o'clock at night and tell me,
Right.
turn off your TV. Hey, I need somebody to call me at 5:30 and say, David, go put a can of peas on the stove. Eat some vegetables. You said you need to eat some vegetables. Don't forget. You decided. Remember, I decided I like vegetables. I like peas and corn and spinach. I decided, so it was my decision. You're just reminding me. You're giving me that motivation. Does that make sense? So that's the whole premise of the support group. You help each other, keep each other's goals reasonable by making sure it meets that impact criteria that we talked about, and you hold each other accountable. You hold each other accountable. You, like I said, you come in and you say, David, did you go to bed an hour early 3 days this week? And I say, yes. And right, you say, congratulations. Now, let's move on to Larry. Larry, what did you decide to work on? What was your goal for this week? Did you meet it? Yes, congratulations. Cece, what did you decide to do? Oh, you decided you were going to whatever. But you didn't make it? Why not? Can we help you with some ideas? Maybe you need to change. Should you maybe set a smaller goal? You know, maybe, okay, maybe instead of eating vegetables 5 days a week, maybe you should try just 1 day this week, and then next week maybe try 2 days, etc., etc. So as a group, you try to help each other with these goals. Because without the group, and I said it before and I'm going to say it again, what would happen? You
You'll
set all
fall
these
apart.
goals, walk away, don't meet again, don't talk about the groups again.
You would like, not just fall apart, but just not know what the material is.
Yeah, you're going to have a 1,000 times better chance of meeting goals if you actually have support system in place where you can talk about those goals and actually
Yeah.
get support and motivation and reminders, a call, a phone call, a note, a text message saying, hey bud, did you eat any bananas today? You said you were going to start eating more fruit. Hey, you said you wanted to stop drinking so much pop. Did you drink some iced tea today? Did you drink some water today? That's the whole premise behind today's session 10 with the support groups. And, the format on pages 58 and 59 are pretty straightforward. The leader welcomes everybody, you have a relaxation response. Go around and ask each person about their goal. If the action was accomplished, the group celebrates the accomplishments and moves to the next person. Now on page 59, if the action was not accomplished, a group member asks what the barriers were. How come you didn't do it? What could have been done next week to help succeed? If the person wants suggestions from group members who have struggled with the same situation, after brainstorming suggestions, recommend that the person choose what may be helpful to be used next week or a different goal. Move to the next person and repeat the process. So just like I described, it's a relatively simple process. You just helping each other. You're holding each other accountable. You're giving each other non-judgmental support. Let's say I decide I'm going to stop eating fast food every day. and I come in and Larry, you asked me, David, did you go to Wendy's and McDonald's every day? I said, you know what, Larry, I was so stressed out about it, I started going twice a day. You don't judge each other, you say, okay.
May I make recommendations of what to do to just fix that and just make it not going to restaurants instead of making your own those restaurants?
That's exactly what we're talking about. That's what the group is supposed to be doing. So you don't judge each other, you don't give each other a hard time if you don't meet your goal. You help in a supportive way to help the person meet a goal or set a goal that they can meet. All right, that's pretty much it. And that's the end of the class.